Ah, that's just so good. Limited color, great drawing, beautiful. Clear storytelling. Nice ad, the twister. Wow. Very cool. One of my favorite comics. Beauty. So well done. Another 4-panel page, 6-panel, 5-panel. Great storytelling. Cool ads. Beautiful lettering, hand lettering on the splash. Written by Stan the Man Lee, illustrated by Big John Buscema, embellished by our pal Sal, with legible, lovable lettering by Sam Rosen. Huh. Cosmic Cube. Very cool. Oh, I guess it's time that, well, not quite yet. I thought it was going to be 3:30 earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and actually get this started. Today I'm doing Bane, and this is 1 out of 2 um, for the same person, and that person would be a fellow named Eugene. So Eugene, if you're watching this, this is the Bane that you requested, and I have the other piece pencil laid out, a Ghost Rider. Hopefully I can get to this tomorrow. I have another one I need to do tomorrow before leaving for the Toronto Comic-Con, but I will try to get that in. The one I actually have to bring to Toronto, so even if I don't stream that, and that's going to be a Vampire Batman, so I might record it and put it up at a later date, like when I'm gone, so that there'll be something still coming forward from me. That could be kind of fun. Give that a try, maybe. See how the views and any comments and stuff done when I'm not live. So Bane, the character that broke Batman's back. A beautiful cover by Kelly Jones, a partner of mine that I've done a lot of work with. From 93 to 2001, Batman, 8 years of Batman projects with Doug Minch writing and Kelly on pencils. So, getting a little late start, maybe, I guess, on this today. Or early start, depending on where you're at. And by the way, it is March 13th, 2018. Hey, welcome to the room, GLHG. How you doing? Good to see you live here. It's been a while, buddy. Why am I humming? I don't know. Maybe I hum more than I realize. And I just caught it as I was streaming. Don't know. Interesting thing is I'm actually taking time to kind of rule this mask out, but when I start filling it in with blacks, I won't be as precise with it, I guess. I think I just picked it up because I wanted the main shape in the middle. And while I got it, I just continued. But whatever. No harm, no foul. Slow day at work. Well, you need one of those every now and again. Um, might do might do well to have one of those days that you can kind of take it easy. So enjoy them while you can, right? So in my research for Bane, I saw a lot of different versions as usual. I'm kind of sticking with the original. Um, kind of putting my twist on it though. Main thing is I kind of like the. It's almost like for me, Bane has like a tinier skull and a bigger jawline. It's almost like his head is upside down in a certain way, or at least that's kind of the way I'm going to interpret it. So I hope all is well with everybody. Hope you've been having a good day, and may it continue to be that way if it has been. If it's not, let's hope it turns around. March 13th, 2019. Seems like the month is going by pretty quick. Seemed like February was, even though it was a shorter month, it seemed like it was longer to get to the midpoint. Got a convention I'm going to Friday, be back on Monday. Toronto Comic Con. uh, GL, I know exactly what you mean. Every time I have a good week, it seems like it seems to even out and I have a bad week. So hopefully we can both dodge that. The interesting thing is I don't know the origin of Bane. I never worked on him. So I never had a reason really to find out what the deal with him was, but looking at his costume design, I almost would, and his build, the way he was drawn, like he's a professional wrestler. A luchador, perhaps, with the mask. If you feel like putting in the comments a brief summary of his origin, feel free. I do appreciate people turning in. I appreciate the likes, the follows, the subscriptions, whatever. So please be kind, and if you like what you're seeing, maybe even if you don't, give me a little thumbs up there while you're watching, or if you're watching this on a replay, hit that little thumbs up for me. Lets me know I'm doing something that the people are enjoying. And if you're watching this on a replay, you have any questions about inking or, excuse me, me in general or my career, my art, feel free to post a comment, ask a question, and I will answer those as quickly as possible. All right. Green Lantern HG says, yeah, guess that's what they were going for. Although his origin is kind of all over the place. While in prison in South America, he was a volunteer for an experiment. Ah, okay. I got it. That's probably why I'm not showing it, but he has those chemical tubes sometimes. Sometimes I do see them, sometimes I don't. So uh, the one I'm doing, I just decided not to use them. Super soldier. That's kind of what I expected. I get that. I can go with that. Makes perfect sense. Especially with the rest of the suit costume that he wears. The black tank top, kind of black military styled pants, BDUs, and the boots. Good afternoon, Joe. Welcome. Glad you could pop in. Yeah, that's good, Joe. Glad glad your schedule allowed you to get in here live. Total characters, in what capacity, GL? In actual books or these head sketches? These head sketches, I could go back and count the streams I've done. Excuse me, and that would give me an idea. Uh, I know I'm somewhere maybe close to 100, if not surpassing that. Oh, in comics? Good question. Let's think about that for a minute. Well, you count Secret Wars, that's a lot of characters. I also worked on Justice League America and Justice League Europe, so that goes up quite a bit too. Wow, yeah, so probably trying to think. That's the groups. Let's see. Secret Wars had Captain America in it. Didn't have the Punisher. So the Punisher, Justice League had quite a few of probably the rest of the stuff at DC that I worked on was in Justice League. I did some Superman in various forms at DC, Batman, of course. Actually, at DC, Batman was 8 years, so that covered a big chunk of my work for them. So I don't really have a count, but just judging from that, it's that I'm trying to think. I didn't really work on the X-Men. There were a few things that contained a few, like Wolverine and Cap Annual 8, but he was also in Secret Wars, so he's already kind of counted in that. That's kind of a good question. I'd never really thought about it, but you can see where as I'm thinking through the question, you can see where some characters are going to repeat. Captain America, I got to work on Nick Fury and the Commandos, Hydra, um, Red Skull. So I'm kind of getting some of those outlying characters. Batman got to do probably all of the classic villains. Excuse me again. So yeah, quite a few. I'm probably, and then there's the over at DC they had their Who's Who. Um, I did some of those, inked some of those over various pencilers. If I say 100, it probably doesn't sound like much, but in the big scheme of things, 100 comic characters is. And it may not even be 100, though. It just seems like it could be. Hey, Ron. Ah, okay. Can't say anything to Ron that he can't hear. He would have his volume off. You can type it. Go ahead. If you mean you could type how many characters I've worked on, I'd like to know myself. Now here, this is an interesting thing that, well, to me, I see Marvel, and somebody mentioned it on a stream. I think when I was doing the Black Suit Spider-Man Monday, that they were doing something with a new book or reprinting, but it's a new book with the symbiote Spider-Man black costume. They're bringing it back, and interesting thing is, and I know he would have mentioned it to me if they did, but I wonder why Marvel didn't contact Mike Zeck to do a variant. It's a 5-issue limited series. I wonder why Marvel did not contact Mike Zeck to do a variant cover. I mean, he probably would have said no, but just the fact that, and I say this in all just goodwill, seeing that Mike is still alive and he is the designer of that costume, you would almost think that Marvel would go out of their way to get the guy that designed the costume and first drew it to do a variant cover. I just don't know what the deal there is. I'm going to have to ask Mike. He may have he may have been asked and just didn't tell me. I have no idea, but that to me, if I was an editor at Marvel, that would have been my first call for a variant cover. But I don't know. So, have I co-created or created characters? I actually have uh, I do have characters that form a series of books, and those books could go on forever. I just haven't. I created it back in. Well, I came up with the idea back in 2010, and just have not got around to producing anything with it. Embarrassingly enough, Craig Zablo, who I'm sure you know Craig, he's been in here with me a few times. I need a writer. I think I can do okay at plotting, but with dialogue and stuff, he's a reader, so he's probably much more in tune with a little bit better dialogue. Um, we do have an 8-page ashcan introduction story that, oh man, that thing's probably 8 years old. So we would need to tighten that up. There's a few snags that still need to be worked out to do it. Um, but yeah, that's something I eventually do want to get to. Is telling those stories. That's right, Ron. That could be GL. Ron, I wanted to say thanks for the. I was gonna send you a text this morning, and I put it off, and it got kind of late, and then I never did. But thanks for the PayPal for the book last night. Mucho appreciated, sir. I had a I had another item I was going to put up in the shop yesterday, and I was having a um, little messaging thing with me, and he asked if he could see the other item. I won't say what it was, and Ron said he would take it, so I said no problemo. So it didn't make it to my shop, but that's okay. I know it's something that so it was a good deal for Ron, and I don't mind doing that for him. Let's see. Oh, thank you, GL. Yeah, hey, I appreciate all the props. Um, uh, it's easy to take stuff for granted, and I try not to take anyone who appreciates what I've done in the past and what I'm doing now. Uh, so thank you for the support and the kind words. This is going to be a shadow dropping down from his chin into his veiny neck. And so we'll start putting some of those little striations and things in that will make it look like he's got his neck veins popping out. And some shoulder muscle. Ah, I knew I forgot something. Before I started, I wanted to walk down the stuff that I have to put in the mail Luckily, the guy does not come until 5 to pick up packages at the drop box. So I gotta remember to get those out. I got them done early this morning when I first came in, but I don't like them to sit out in the mailbox all day. Usually around lunchtime, I'll run them down 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that. But totally slipped my mind today, and getting old, people. My senior moment again. I think it's just I got a lot on my mind, a lot running through the old gray matter. So things tend to come and go, as it were. I don't know why I'm afraid to put them out there so early. I just, I get in here around 5 to 5:30 a.m. and it took me a couple hours to get what I have wrapped and ready to go. So it probably, by 8 o'clock or so, I should be fine. But I don't know, just don't feel comfortable putting them out that early when they're just going to sit. Let's see. I think I'm about ready to get a bigger brush out and really remove some ink. Go ahead and get a bit of erasing done here. That's always a nice sound when your eraser makes that. All right, so That's true. I don't know what happens when the mailman does or doesn't get here. I did learn one thing when I started using Click and Ship, and that was I did check the text notifications, and I sent out like 8 or 9 head sketches, and I just left the all notifications checked. Don't ever do that. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Now I just pick delivery, but I do automatically, and some of you probably already know this. It's already like sent me a text for the packages I got that you know I guess it can tell I've printed the label and that they're being mailed out today. So I've already got those texts, which I think are just default. I think I can't turn those off unless I ask for none. But I kind of like to know where the stuff is in the process, just in case. I've been lucky so far and not had any lost mail. I don't think, except for that one FedEx package. And that was really not lost. That was just in the mailroom behind a counter. But I kind of like to know um, the day of delivery I get when it's at the processing place at the local, wherever the person is. And I get to know when it's been delivered. So if anyone ever can, ask, I can let them know. But I also send them an email. I put the email address in, so I think they can opt in to get messages also. It's very cool, actually. Very nice. Especially when you're expecting something. It's a nice feature. When you're mailing out, like I said, quite a few things. If you don't need to have it, if you can just have a few, like you've still got the tracking number and stuff. Don't ever hit that. I want everything, because every time that piece of mail gets scanned, every one of them, you're going to get a text or multiple. But if you want that, go ahead. I'm just saying, for me, I found out. All right. I never thought of Bane during that Batman week, Ron. Like I said, I've never done him. Never had it. I think I've drawn him at a convention or something, maybe, but I never worked on him in a book, so it never occurred to me to pick Bane as one of the people to do. Kind of weird, I know, but he just was never on my radar. I always go back to the real classic Batman villains, the Arkham Asylum crew. One of my favorite things when people get their artwork is when they receive it and put it on Twitter, take a picture of it and show it. Even though I've probably already scanned it and maybe have shown it myself, it's just nice when they're holding it. So if you are getting a piece from me and you're on Twitter and you hear this, I do enjoy that. I love it. So maybe that can be a thing. It's always nice. Not quite ready for tomorrow yet, Ron. Well, tomorrow I leave Friday, so um, I know you meant the day I'm flying out, though, but still got a few details to take care of. A few things to wrap up and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. But I guess I'm as as prepared as can be right now. I wish I would have had more time to work on these this week. My head sketches and stream a little more, but I didn't. And I got an email from the Inkwell Awards about the David Finch piece because it's due at the end of the month, and um, it was something that it was like kind of a letter checking on us who have not showed any progress on it yet, like myself. And so they said if you can't do it or you're not sure, let us know. And I got to thinking about it, and I just decided I better pass because a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want to rush it, and I was kind of feeling a little bit of anxiety time wise, even though I know I've had a lot of time, but I've had to make a living, try to make a living. And I started having second and third thoughts about doing it only for the fact that while I am a fan of David Finch's work, I'm not so sure. This was like a, my personal decision. I'm not so sure that doing kind of the direction I wanted to do would be what um, what would be good for everybody involved. I mean, I wasn't gonna you know, like annihilate it or anything. I just was gonna maybe, how am I gonna describe this? Maybe not make it look like, or try. It's very tough. He's a tight penciler. Try not to make it look like what everybody else, I'm sure, is going to turn in. Where, you can kind of tell a little bit of a difference in between inkers. That's Bella telling me dinner's ready. Well, that's nice, but let me. There we go. Come on over, GL. I'm digging this Bane. I'm having a fun time doing this guy. Uh, I think he would be fun to, and I did see some drawings that were really good when I was doing research of his whole body, the way people would, well, here's the thing. It's kind of like, I've told Ron this. I don't like, I think it's a a common term, I guess. You all may have heard it. The bodybuilding Hulk, where, he's all ripped and muscular and stuff. Um, because he's supposed to be monster-like. So I like him. I like drawing the Hulk as thickly muscled, but not well defined. Um, and although I did love the rendering and stuff Dale Keown did on his run on the Hulk, if you're familiar with that, then you kind of know what I mean when I say the bodybuilder Hulk. Dale did a great job, though. I mean, but I still like kind of the Kirby version where he's kind of a big slab with a little bit of definition, but not a ton. But now with Bane, that's the one. I saw some people that were doing full body shots of him that were just uh, really cool. Um, just great, the way they veins popping out and extreme musculature. I think I will add a little bit of splatter. Okay, so Bella says okay because I told her I was streaming and I would be home in a little while. That was a long delay to text that back, but who knows? I know sometimes I text someone and it goes right out, but they don't get it for a while. So, but I think she might be busy touching some food up or something. She's just making spaghetti, nothing fancy tonight. Not one of her delicious homemade soups with all sorts of good vegetables and cooks down some meat and makes it like so tender it just melts in your mouth pretty much. I never knew I ate oxtail until her and Zablo had that discussion. And then I found out what I thought was beef, what she told me was beef. And this has been years ago, was actually oxtail. Because the way she cooked it, it was so tender, it tasted just like beef. No lie. Hey, the Doughboy Hulk. No, just the thick Hulk. I don't mind a little rendering, like I said. I just don't, maybe a few well placed veins is okay if you want some veinage, but just not like ripped up like he's ready to do it. Hey, Jason, what's up? About to wrap up this Bane drawing here, and get some packages in the mail. That should have went down before I started this, and I meant to do it, and I got distracted by um, talking to somebody here in the building for a few minutes, and it completely now has, well, luckily I thought of it as I look at them over there up against the wall ready to go out. Boy, I'll tell you, this tape can stick to the black ink. But I want to hold it up there while I rinse the brush out. Boop. A one-handed rinse. All right, it's just going to have to stay. Well, hey, there went Bane. I hope you're feeling okay. Hope the surgery went well and that you'll be healing up nicely. Yeah, I just started at 3:30 or maybe just a few minutes before. So, um, I'm glad you could at least come in. You might want to go back and watch the start. I had a little fun at the beginning, pretending like I didn't know the camera was on, kinda. I guess that was my intent. Okay, Ron. Hey, thanks. I will talk to you later. And Jason, yeah. Uh, hope you get well, man. I think I can. I think I can do a splatter, and I'm gonna have to make a quick exit. But I know you guys, both live and taped, like to watch the splatter, so we're gonna try to get that done before I have to jump down a couple stairs of couple flights of stairs to make sure I get stuff in the mail. Sometimes those mailmen come early. I know that for a fact. And excuse me, I've seen them out there. I still got time, but don't want to miss them. I don't know what happens on the click and ship if you don't, you have to tell them. Hey, thanks, Jason. Uh, yeah. Well, there's no window here. I would. I have a windowless office, which that is one drawback I don't like. That's about the only thing I really don't like. No window. I would like to have that. All right, so up here in the corner to start. I'm actually just going to kind of try to keep it in the background if I can. That's okay there, because I'm going to get a little bit in his head. Let's see. All right. I would like a touch here, please. And that's going to do it. I'm not going to go any further. I kind of like it going into darkness down here. I broke up the background a bit, so that's why the splatter in there, just to texture it up, let it fade down a little bit. I am going to remove that, and I'm going to have to go back over and touch that up. I believe that's no big deal. That's a quick brush stroke here. And as I said earlier, this is for 1 out of 2 for Eugene. So Eugene, if you're watching this on a replay, this is your Bane. This is your Bane, Eugene. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. And I do have Eugene requested a red skull. Let me, it's got getting a little glare. I guess you guys can kind of see the pencil. And hopefully I'll be inking this one tomorrow along with another Vampire Batman, which may not be streamed, depending on what time it is. And I might do it early in the morning when I first get in. That one goes to Toronto with me. So if I don't stream it, I will definitely post it. So since I got to run down to the post office, hey, on your way out, thumbs up if you liked it. I appreciate you all joining me today for this quick live stream. And don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And I will see you next time. GL, good seeing you again. Everybody take care. Have a safe night. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Got to go to the mailbox down below. See ya.